Some light is never meant to be seen, only followed. For nearly 6 decades, a man named Gabriel wandered the mountain village of Calera each night, carrying a single object, an old brass lantern. The villagers called him the Lantern Keeper. He had no wife, no children, and no possessions beyond a small rustic cottage perched on the cliff's edge. Each evening, as the chapel bells echoed through the village, Gabriel would light the lantern and walk down to the cliffs above the sea. There, he would place it on the same rock every night, and sit beside it on a wooden bench carved into the stone, waiting until the sun rose again. He never moved. Children whispered, "He is waiting for someone who never came." Adults murmured, "Poor man. He has lost his mind." No one questioned him, and Gabriel never offered an explanation. But one child saw something different. Eli, 11 years old, with wide, curious eyes and a quiet heart brimming with questions, lived in the village with his mother, who worked at the bakery, and his grandfather, once a fisherman until arthritis stole the sea from his hands. Eli was captivated by Gabriel. Every evening, he would slip away after dinner and watch from the shadows as the old man moved silently toward the cliffs, lantern in hand, like a guardian of some unseen promise. One night, curiosity overcame him. He waited until Gabriel settled on the bench, then crept closer and whispered, "Why do you light the lantern?" Gabriel turned, smiled gently and said, "Because somebody may be seeking the light." "Who?" asked Eli. Gabriel's gaze drifted toward the sea. "Someone who once saved me." Over the following weeks, Eli returned. Sometimes he brought bread, sometimes only his questions. Gradually, Gabriel began to share his story. He spoke of a storm long ago at sea, the great tempest that swallowed entire ships. As a young sailor, he had been lost, with no compass, no map, no strength. Then, in the howling darkness, he saw a small, steady, golden light shining through the cliffs of Calera. That light saved him. When he returned to thank whoever had placed it, the cliff was empty. The village houses were dark. "I never found out who lit it," Gabriel admitted one night, "but I thought if someone had lit a light that might save me, I could do the same for someone else." Years passed. Eli grew up. He no longer visited the cliffs at night. He went to school, did his chores and worked, yet Gabriel never left his thoughts. The village aged, technology arrived, and street lamps lit the streets. Eventually, Gabriel became just a whisper, a ghost with a candle on the cliff, until the night another storm came. A monstrous tempest. Wind screamed like wolves. Waves towered like mountains. Power lines fell. Amid the chaos, a voice said, "A ship is missing." An ocean steamer carrying 50 passengers. Their navigation failed. Someone remembered. Now a young man, now a father of his own. Eli rushed into Gabriel's cottage, but the old man was already gone. When Eli reached the cliff, the lantern was already glowing. The storm raged fiercely, yet the light stood unwavering. Gabriel was there, soaked to the bone, trembling but holding the flame steady in his hands. "They may be there," he whispered to himself. And somehow they were. Hours later, a battered ship sailed into the port, fractured, torn, and battered, yet every soul aboard was safe. They had seen a light on the cliffs and followed it. When the crew asked who had lit it, Gabriel was already gone. He had died on his bench, the lantern still burning beside him. Eli recounted the full story at his funeral: the storm, the light, and the man who had given his life to repay a generosity that had never been answered. The villagers wept. The mayor declared that, on every anniversary of the storm, a lantern would be lit on the cliffs of Calera in Gabriel's honor, a symbol that someone, somewhere, might find their way home. Eli inherited the lantern. He lit it that first year. His daughter lit it the next. And so it continued. No one ever questioned the strange ritual of lighting a lantern for no one in particular, because now they understood. Sometimes the acts we do in silence become someone else's salvation. Sometimes the light you carry isn't for you to see, it's for someone else to follow. Be a lantern keeper. Someone might be lost, and your light could be the only one they see.